The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy, one of the weirdest kids shows ever. Few shows could compare to its wacky horror comedy. Maybe that's why we loved it. The Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy was peak, nothing but chaotic fun and endless problems. The Grim Reaper losing to two kids and being bound to them forever. Where can you go wrong with that? I don't even understand how death can lose to two kids. But whatever. This show turned into one of the most iconic, disturbing, and unintentionally brilliant cartoon shows ever. This wasn't your average talking animals or friendship lesson type of shows. Yuck. This was a show so weird it had to make you laugh or traumatize you. This show was made by creators who understood that horror isn't all about being creepy and scary. Sometimes it can be funny. This show had skeletons, demons, cursed chickens, and a very, very smart kid named Billy. Maybe that's why the show works so well. Since it's October and everyone's pretending to love scary stuff while being terrified if the lights go out, it feels like the perfect time to revisit this chaotic masterpiece. The cartoon that made us laugh, cringe, and question, how the hell did this aired? Billy and Mandy, two kids from Endlessville, meets the Grim Reaper when their pet hamster, Mr. Snuggles, is about to die. Grim pulls up to claim the hamster's soul, but Mandy, with all her genius, decides, why not challenge a skeleton with no ligaments to a limbo contest, which is such a great idea. She wins because the plot gods demanded it. Now the Grim Reaper is forced to become their best friend forever. Two kids enslave death through a party game. That's the kind of logic that would only make sense in the early 2000s. They don't make TV shows like this anymore. That's when Cartoon Network was in their bag. Who else could have come up with a concept like Billy and Mandy besides someone who was extremely high? But what makes this show so wild is how quickly it spirals from there. Instead of learning heartwarming lessons, Billy and Mandy drags Grim into one horrifying situation after another, traveling through the underworld, summoning monsters, and causing the apocalypse for laughs and giggles. This show had a lot of complex characters, like Billy. Let's just say Billy wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. He had a test against a rock, and the rock outscored him. He's a complete idiot.
Billy. An F? I thought we had a deal. Oh, couldn't do it. 4 times 1 is definitely not a picture of a clown with a flamethrower. How could I be so stupid?
Most shows have their idiots like Patrick, Cosmo, and Richard from the Amazing World of Gumball, but Billy is on a whole nother level of stupidity. He doesn't have a brain, he screams at everything, eats dirt, and like 95% of the problems on the show are his fault. Then there's Mandy, his polar opposite. She's cold, emotionless, and I'm positively sure she's the reincarnation of evil. Even her own parents are afraid of her. She never smiles, never panics, and solves the problems caused by her idiotic friend. Then there's Grim, that poor overworked skeleton. He's literally the Grim Reaper turned babysitter. He's constantly being forced to do things that he doesn't want to do. He once gave Billy powers so Billy would fly far, far away so he could be left alone. Poor guy. And finally, we have Erwin, the biggest simp in the early 2000s. He's obsessed with Mandy, even though it's clear as day she's not interested in him. He's a half vampire, half mummy. He once became a pharaoh and forced everyone in Ennsville to work for him. He's the kind of guy, if you give him a little bit of power, he'll go mad with it.
You asked for it!
The humor on the Grim Adventures of Billy and Mandy wasn't just weird for the sake of being weird. It was actually dark, like way darker than we realized as a kid. You had episodes with zombie plagues, hunted toys, and giant brain monsters, and a lot of death jokes. There was this one episode when Grim flashes a bunch of kids to prove to them that he doesn't have any organs. He ends up in jail.
Look at me, buddy. I ain't got no guts, nothing. How could I poop? Huh? I'm a skeleton. Look at me body! Look at it! Look at it!
There's even an episode where Billy's son from the future shows up and he's a spider named Jeff because apparently Billy was clapping spider cheeks.
No more, Mr. Nice Spider! Love me, Dad! Love me! Love me now!
And then there's Nurgle, a literal demon who lives underground and can absorb people with his shadow tentacles.
I've decided I'm keeping the kids as my friends. Forever!
Well, aren't you going to say anything?
I want to be perfectly clear on this. Exactly how long did you say you were going to keep the kids?
Forever!
Okay!
It's crazy how this show balanced things that should be terrifying with fart jokes and idiotic, terrible humor. One second, you're laughing at Billy being an absolute idiot. The next second, you're watching Grim open a portal to hell. What really made Billy and Mandy feel so special is how much they captured the Halloween spirit all year round. I guess that's what made Gravity Falls so special. The whole show had the Halloween energy. Every episode felt like it was set up in October with creepy background music, supernatural characters popping up out of nowhere, and music that sounded like it came from a horror movie. You didn't even need pumpkins or witches to feel that Halloween spirit. The world of Billy and Mandy always had that mix of cozy and creepy, like watching a Halloween movie with your family. It was scary, but it never took itself seriously. And the best part is, they didn't try to be cute. Mandy once ate Erwin, and the show just ended. There was no explanation.
Mom, Dad, and all my friends. You weren't eaten after all. Except, where's Erwin?
Erwin's glasses. How do you suppose these got in there?
There was no sugar-coated morals, no cheesy lessons at the end. The show was weird, kind of like life, but that's okay. Not everything's going to be sunshine and rainbows. The grim adventures of Billy and Mandy could have only existed during the golden era of Cartoon Network, when every show felt like it was about having fun and not about profits. You had Courage the Cowardly Dog, traumatizing the shit out of me as a kid.
Return the slab.
What?
Return the slab, or suffer my curse.
What's your offer?
This night you will be visited by 3 plagues, each worse than the last. Return the slab.
Ha! Nice try, Professor.
And then there was Ed, Edd n Eddy, always trying to scam people for some jawbreakers.
Where you going, Ed?
To buy my baby sister and her persnickety friend Fudge, with lots of nuts.
You mean jawbreakers, Ed?
Jawbreakers?
What are you, a parrot? You got enough moolah there for 3 sweet, ever-loving jawbreakers, big boy.
Stop right there. It's Sarah's money, and if Fudge Sarah wants, Fudge Sarah gets.
The guy's cracked, Ed. I know that you know that jawbreakers are the way to go.
Don't you listen to him, Ed. Sarah's depending on you.
Forget Sarah. Jawbreakers, Ed.
What the hell were these guys' obsession with jawbreakers? Cartoon Network was wild back then. They didn't care about logic, they cared about having fun. And Billy and Mandy had the weirdest, funniest show of them all. The show somehow managed to mix comedy, horror, dark fantasy, all in one for kids, like the Billy and Mandy's Big Boogie Adventure, which was hilarious. When Buggy, you know the Boogeyman, tries to steal Grimm's scythe powers to prove that he's scarier than Grimm, causing Grimm, Billy, Mandy, and Erwin to set sail on a pirate adventure to get back Grimm's powers. It was a dark, funny, pirate-themed adventure filled with monsters and chaos. You know, just another day at Endsville. Erwin even got to kiss Mandy. Good for him.
She's still asleep!
Yes, there is but one way to break the spell this beautiful maiden is under.
The reason this show worked so well was because it wasn't trying to be cute. The grim adventures of Billy and Mandy never pretended to be something it wasn't. It was dark, funny, and it ran with it. It didn't try to teach you kindness or friendship. It taught us if you ever meet death, you gotta beat him in a limbo contest. There's no other way. Or you're cooked. The show leaned fully into dark fantasy, chaos, and stupidity, and somehow it made us all feel kind of cozy. Watching Grimm deal with Billy was like watching a single dad try to raise a bad kid, and sometimes it looked like he wouldn't care if Billy died. Billy was a rabid animal who did what he wanted. Every episode was a reminder that this kid was dumber than we thought. He once joined a snake cult in the secret snake club where the whole goal was to overthrow society using reptiles. And then there's Mandy with her cold and heartlessness. That's the best way to describe her. Remember the episode where she finally smiled and the entire universe collapsed?
Bring it! Bring it!
You ever get the feeling something really bad is about to happen?
When Mandy was born, wolves came to raise her. This show constantly pushed the limits of what a kid's cartoon could get away with. Watching Erwin suck that lime was absolutely traumatizing.
Hey, Mandy.
That was harassment. You also had that episode with the singing meteor that was literally looking for brains to eat. And Billy, being the brainless idiot that he is, decides to feed the meteor his friend's brain.
Go down to your neighbor's place, see the dull expression on his face. You'd be doing him a favor if you brought him to me. He ain't using his brain, he's just watching TV.
Meanwhile, over on Disney Channel, kids are learning about the power of friendship. Yuck! That's why Disney Channel will never compare to the greatness of Cartoon Network. On Cartoon Network, we're learning that space rocks might sing before they try to eat your brain. And then there's the matter of Erwin's parents. His dad's a half vampire, his mom's a mummy. I had some questions. I still have questions.
Leaving a whole lot of questions that don't need to be answered.
Works for me.
Ditto.
Me too.
Yeah, but how did you and Erwin's mom...
Leaving a whole lot of questions that don't need to be answered.
Billy and Mandy was great. It had some iconic episodes, like the hunted tricycle that just goes around beating all of Billy's enemies.
You got a problem, cuz? No! I got rid of you, man! I got rid of you! Ah! Oh, no! No!
There was also the evil duck that goes around hunting people and causing them to go crazy and end up in jail.
Well, at least that crazy duck went away, yo.
Yeah, but I wonder, who will his next victim be?
Hey, a duck! What the heck just happened?
This show had so many iconic moments, primarily because it's a great TV show, and honestly, it should get a reboot. For this Halloween, instead of watching a horror movie or carving pumpkins, maybe throw in an episode of Billy and Mandy. Nothing captures the spooky seasons quite like two kids bullying death, fighting demons, unleashing sealed horrors onto their town, and a skeleton just trying to make it through another day. And honestly, if that doesn't sound like peak television, then I don't know what is. Feel free to let me know your favorite Billy and Mandy moments. Was it Little Rocks of Horror, Pandora's Lunchbox? Let me know in the comments. I want to see how many of you guys was raised on this weird masterpiece. If you enjoy this nostalgic Halloween throwback, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share with someone who loves weirdness just as much as you do.